guys. This is a video that I wanted to do just based on something that it's really kind of been getting at me. I know I really wanted to make a video about it for a while. Just something that I've seen and get a lot of emails about, and with the way people are. And I just wanted to see maybe if there was a way that I can help or help shift somebody's perspective, maybe, that needs it. If you don't need it and this doesn't apply to you, then absolutely, just let it go, or just take what fits or whatever. But I get a lot of emails and I see a lot of things about, how to get somebody back, or will they come back, or just being so focused on somebody or something else. And, I don't judge in anything of this. I try to focus my readings on certain things for a reason. I mean, if somebody needs it, I'll really dig into it, and then I'll also give my advice on what I think, or channel the message, whatever I'm guided to do. But to some degree, there has to be a line that's drawn, because, my channel is very much it's about soul growth. It's about empowering yourself. And, I choose to use the metaphysical or spiritual tools that I do for that. Unless something else comes up or I'm guided to say or do something else, then I do. And sometimes I do tap into things because I feel like people need to know stuff to help shift their perspective. So I will do that. But there has to be a level of, self-worth and healing that's going on here. I mean, there doesn't have to, but again, take what resonates and leave the rest. I know a lot of people are very much on spiritual journeys right now, and they're feeling a lot of tugs, especially with people. There's a whole lot, which I kind of want to do a separate video about this, but there's a whole lot going on with twin flame, soulmate, karmic partners, all of that. And, as validating as it is, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I understand. It's not that I don't. And obviously always listen to your intuition first over anything that I or anybody else ever says. But, all of them are about soul journeys and the journey back to yourself. So you don't know where that's going to lead. And, some people are really missing the point on that. It's about, union or coming together, or the expectation of what it's going to turn out like, and all of that. Maybe I'll just make it into this video about the soulmate and twin flame and all that. So I guess first let me get into that. I'm sorry if I'm saying it is what it is, but I understand with, and I think everybody's is different levels and for different reasons. But I understand with the whole telepathy thing, dreams, feeling them, being there, knowing what's going on, just all of that. I understand it. I really do. And I understand how every fiber of your being can pull you to something. I also understand that sometimes there's other reasons for that other than what we know. And there might even be multiple reasons, which may lead you to completely let go. Most of those journeys lead you to release things. That's a lot of your intense stuff, is to make it apparent that there is something that needs to be released and healed. And then to release the whole thing and the whole expectation of it, and to remember and come into union with your own being, your own essence, your own journey, and to know such self-worth and self-respect that even that other part or whatever, it doesn't matter, because you're focused, you know where you're going, and whether that's another part of you or not, this is still your body, this is still your journey, and this is still your experience that you're choosing to have. And there's respect and boundaries that need to be had. So, especially if, you know, you're wrong, you're supposed to learn some other lesson or whatever, like, and then entrusting the universe and your journey that what's supposed to come will come. It also, what ends up also happening is when you start to do that healing and you start to release and you find your respect and your boundaries and you walk your journey and start with your own alignment, you start to really learn and hear who you really are and what you want. A lot of what I found, again, this may not be your part, but I'm going to say it in case it helps you. A lot of what I found is that a lot of that was just, it was calling. It was like, this needs to be fixed. A lot of people put on twin flame, soulmate, even karmic stuff, you know, this, no, it's okay that it has this and this, or that it, you know, is codependent, that it's abusive, that it's not respectful, that it's blah, 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 that I'm throwing parts of my life away because this, it's okay though, because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's a twin flame relationship. It's a karmic relationship. It's a soulmate relationship. And I get, like, soulmates can be either way. Some people see them as like the really soft, loving kind, and some people are like, they label all of this in soulmate. It doesn't matter. It's a label. It's a human label at the end of the day. No, that's not okay. Yes, it is common for those to be in those dynamics, because a lot of times your type of spiritual relationships lead you to healing, and you need to heal that stuff within yourself. Self-love, codependency, respect, boundaries, finding who you are, your soul, your mission, like whatever. That is not an excuse to stay in a situation or stay chasing a situation or waiting for a situation, or it's not an excuse to further lie to yourself that there's things you have to heal, or lie that you don't have things you have to heal, or that your unhappiness is because of that person. No. What you're supposed to see is that you do have things to heal, that you are unhappy, that you are dependent on that person, and that something is wrong. Wrong. Don't want to go good or bad, but something needs to be had. It's trying to get you to have a soul evolution. And right now, with the planet doing what it's doing, it's waking up. It's waking people up. Of course, you're going to have a strong pull, because it's trying to get you to be like, what am I doing? You know, to heal these things, to ascend, to find your power, to create, to have healthy outlets. And those people highly mirror us. I really feel in a lot of ways that that intense pull is really something that I'm seeing in myself that I'm having trouble expressing. And that I also see a part of recognition in my soul in them. But I'm projecting it. My mind tells me it's them, but it's not, it's me. But some people are better mirrors than others, and some people mirror some things, and some people mirror other things. And some of those things are just more beautiful and not as that push-pull feeling, which is, you know, sometimes seen as the soulmate. And some people mirror in that way that is that highly triggering, either running or push-pull dynamic, because you're seeing part of yourself in that. And even though part of you hates that, no, part of you loves that. You hate it in yourself, which is why you run from it. But you love it in other people. It's okay that it's in other people, but it's not okay in yourself. You can love it in other people, but you can't love it in yourself. It's trying to show you those dynamics. Usually when you do this type of healing and this growth, you will find that your love for that person or situation will not change. But the intense and toxic pull will. That goes away. And you actually then see things and hear things and feel things from a different perspective. But you really don't get there until you learn to get on your journey and focus on that, so you can learn to really heal and listen to yourself. All right, when I said that was 11 on my thing. So it's teaching you to get to learn to listen to yourself more. But at first, it is your wounds and your triggers that are going to be speaking the loudest. Your intuition, and I'm not even saying you're wrong on what you're feeling. Like I said, take what resonates and leave the rest. Always listen to your intuition. But maybe there's something that I'm going to say that's going to help somebody. So I'm just going to do it. I wasn't going to lead it this way, but this is where I'm being guided to lead it. So, your intuition doesn't speak that loud. It's softer. Unless it's like dire. And then it yells at you. And for the most part, a lot of what people are going through right now, it's not yelling at you. You're feeling more of that, that wound area, that thing that is like, okay, we need to heal this. And maybe it will come around. But the idea of it is to see it and do the healing and see what they're, pulling up in you, and then align who you are, your journey, so that you can ascend. There's so many synchronicities. Every time I look at the clock on this, it's like 11, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyways, I think a lot of people are missing the point here. And they're using these feelings that are coming up and these labels as excuses and reasons to stay in situations that they shouldn't, and excuses to not own what they're doing and take responsibility for what they're doing. Some of them, they know it, and some of them don't. But no, I leave everything up to trust in the universe. I don't know where things are going to lead me. And I sometimes people have to come in between other things to teach you other lessons. Like, how are you waking up and being like, no, I'm on this plan, I'm on this ascension, blah, blah, blah. And it's just about that person. It's not even about your journey. Or you do little enough just to stay attached to that, but not release and let go and keep going and have trust and have faith and do what's taken to ascend. You're growing just enough for a person or a situation, but not for you, not for your own life, not for your own soul, not for your own journey, not for your mission that maybe you're here to help other people, but for you. And don't get me wrong, you should be there for you. But if you're only ascending or growing enough to try to bring in another person, for one, newsflash, you're not going to bring it in. And if you do, you're not going to keep it. But for two, you're not on the journey. And there is no one that's better than the other. But I don't know. I'm being guided here to throw a perspective thing at you. There's no judgment here. I completely understand. I have been in this situation. I have complete compassion. But maybe for some of you, it's really time to really look at what you're doing and really ask yourself, are you really on the journey? Or are you really where you want to be on that journey? Are you waiting for your person or situation to come in order to help people? Are you waiting for them to continue ascending on your journey because you think you need them to do it? Are you waiting for them to find your happiness? Are you waiting for them to find you and to feel complete? Do you understand anything also about the law of attraction? Do you know that what is meant for you will never be denied you? And watching your perspective, because yeah, some of this, there's spiritual stuff going on, no doubt. But some of it is also to see your mental patterns that are blocking you and that are creating lies to you, that are holding you back, that is making excuses and making for reasons that you're not going for more. Or that are even making you feel okay because you don't want to see or feel the pain of the truth. Yeah, some people are running from you for spiritual reasons. But some of you, those spiritual reasons is not because they're meant to learn and come back. Some of them, it's meant for you to see something. It's meant to wake you up, to find your worth, to finally release and trust, to find your wholeness. Sometimes things that we feel like we need are taken away from us to realize we never needed them at all. That it was actually us we were seeking anyways. Because we were actually seeking it in that person and in whatever the situation was. It's actually you that you're looking for. And you're sitting right there. They can never give you you. But a lot of you don't see that that's what you're searching for is you. Your own union, your own ascension, your own coming together, your own being willing to stand there in front of the world by yourself, whole and complete. Your own willing, honestly, to develop your spiritual discipline and responsibility. And to know that sometimes you have to walk away from things that everything in your being is telling you, I want this and I need this. And honestly, anytime anything ever tells you that, with that intense of a pull, that intense pull that you will see in tarot under the devil card, I'm not saying it's evil or devilish, but that's what the devil card represents, is that intense chain needed, the toxicity of it. Anytime anything ever tells you, I need this to survive, minus like food and water and stuff like that, or I need this to be happy, it is exactly in that moment that you should be detoxing from that situation. Because you are giving your power away. Even spirituality, you should never feel like that about. You should be in complete harmony with it. Not in that you're sitting there, itching like a crackhead. No offense to any crackheads or people who do crack, but because you got to go no, you could become addicted to that too. It's a balance. Everything's about balance. So if you're sitting there like, I need this person to ascend, I need this situation to ascend, I need this to feel right. No. You need to find you. You need to go within you. You need to do that work and to heal. Anything that is meant for you will not run from you. You will not have to chase it. There are some people with zodiac signs that they are more drawn to chase. They're more the initiators, especially in love. And then some people are just, that's the love they were taught growing up. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But just be prepared that most of the time when you're that person, especially for women, if they're the ones doing it, that more than likely that person is going to run from you. Even if it gets them at first, especially if they feel emasculated, because you just did everything that the typical male normally likes to do. And they're going to need to go feel masculine somewhere else, and they're going to go give it to somebody who is in the receptive mode. Because they're going to feel that internal drive that is like, need to go get this. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but that's what they're going to go do. It's the push-pull dynamic. And if you're unbalanced, chances are they are too. Go get balanced. And then see what the universe brings to you. Then see what gifts come. Because here's the thing too. Chances are people who are feeling this, they don't even know who they are. They have not met themselves on a soul level. They are feeling that intense pull and triggering because their soul is trying to be like, see me, find me, chase me. And it's through these avenues, or at least just seeing and not chasing it, but seeing what's going on. It's through those wounds, honestly, that you find yourself, because it's in those wounds that huge parts of you are hiding. I know this is deep stuff. Some of you might not even be like, what is she talking about? You'll know. You'll know. If this is meant for you, you will know. It is in those moments, in those wounds, in those parts of you that you find you. It is trying to guide you to find you. When you do that, a lot of that releases. I promise you, it releases. Because now you're starting to be aligned and you're finding you, and those parts of you are coming together. You won't need the mirroring anymore. And my point in saying all that is, when you start to find you and you start to learn who you are, you start to realize that a lot of that stuff you are chasing and wanting, and your mental triggers, perceptions, obsessions, habits, addictions, was really not what you ever wanted in the first place. You either wanted it and was searching in the wrong areas in the wrong ways, or you didn't even want it. It was just something that needed to be found and filled and loved. And once that's healed, it goes away, it becomes easier. Yes, it takes a little while for your mental part to change its thought patterns, to develop new connections, new neural pathways and ways of thinking. So you have to have a level of discipline getting through this, knowing what's going on and that your body is changing. Your thought patterns are changing. It takes a little while sometimes for the rest of your body to catch up. But you start to see. You start to see who you are. You start to see what you want. And you start to see that that's not what you wanted, that it wasn't in alignment with you, and that you've been selling yourself short. That you deserve more, and that there is more. And that there's an abundance in this world that you have not been seeing. Or didn't think you deserved. One or the other. Or both. If you did something wrong to cause somebody to leave you, again, this is about perception, but yeah, okay, then apologize. Try for a little while to get them back if that's what you feel guided to do. And then if it's not, then let it go. Chalk it up to a lesson learned, and that somebody better will come in, or more aligned with you now will come in, because you will have healed and changed alignment. And now you know not to do that with that person. Or that maybe that person came into your life to learn that lesson. You really don't have to think that deeply about it. A lot of times when people go into this regret, or I lost, or I did something wrong, or even if you didn't do something wrong and you lost something great, like it will never be that great again, especially if you were unhappy before that person or situation came into your life and they made you happy when you were together and then you lost it. That is hard to mentally get out of. And unless you see those patterns of what you needed to heal and why you were unhappy in the first place, you are just going to stay sad, anxious, depressed, chasing, or taking anything that will come along. Because like I said, I mean, I know I'm speaking right now very much on a spiritual level and not so much on a 3D, human drive type level here. But when people come into our lives and it's that intense, it's that pulling, yes, there could be things as far as like, past lives or lessons or whatever, but it's mostly because some part of you recognizes or wants to see something. And I truly believe that most of the time, it's a part of you that your soul is trying to see. Your soul sees itself in somebody else. That doesn't mean that it's them. It's a part that's mirroring. And that person is a great mirror for that part of yourself. Your brain takes it on a 3D level like, oh, it's them. I need them. I need them to feel this way. Because I only feel this way when they're with me. Because they mirror it so well. They're mirroring. What is a mirror? It is a reflection of you. What's in front of it. So they're mirroring a part of you. You just have not learned that it's inside of you or how to tap into it. You are having trouble expressing that part of yourself. They are mirroring it. Soul-wise, you see that. Mind-wise, you don't. You are seeing it as them, that it is them, that they have that. So in order to keep feeling this way, I must have that. Very much like a drug addiction. In order to feel this way, I must have that. In order to not feel this way, I must have that. It's all within you anyways. They're just mirroring that. Because I truly did find that. Like for a while, I would be like, oh, I gotta have this, and this is why I want it, and blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, it was like, once that started to heal, that intense pull on that wasn't there anymore. It didn't mirror in the same way. Because I didn't need to see it in that person anymore. I already had that. So I am able to just see that person or situation for what it really is now. And not be in such a toxic attraction to it because I don't need it. I mean, don't need it anyways, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's now within me. I see it in me. So a lot of times I feel like when you really see and feel something in someone else that a part of you is really having trouble expressing, but it wants to, a lot of times we will make up whatever story we want. I'm not saying this whole spiritual relationship is a story. I'm saying whatever you do that allows you to continue this in your life in whatever way you're doing it is the story that you're creating to make it okay to keep it there and selling yourself out, selling yourself short, abandoning yourself, whatever, in order to have that. And that's where really seeing it and owning it so that you could take responsibility for it comes from, because then after that you can make a choice, you can commit to it, and you can create the change. And you can help work on the wound and change your perspective. But please stop waiting on people or even situations. Stop chasing them. Stop wondering about them. Stop running your mind over and over again about them. None of that is going to get you the emotional fulfillment you're looking for. Please realize the cycle that you're in. You got to see the cycle. Really look, ask yourself, emotionally, what am I trying to get? Because that's why we all do things. It's for something emotional. Even security things. You're looking for emotional stuff. Because it feels bad when you're not taken care of. When you don't have food. When you don't have a roof over your head. When you don't have security. You feel emotions. You feel emotions during the heavy stuff, and you feel emotions during the light and the amazing stuff. It's all amazing, but what emotion are you looking for? I'll own it. Even if it is chaos. Even if it is an abusive pattern and you're addicted to the pain and the chaos of it. Because even then you're going to be like, well, I want to feel good. It's just that's the way you've learned to feel good. So it starts that whole journey of looking at it and saying, okay, I want to feel good, but I feel pain. Oh, okay. So am I just mistaken about this, or does pain equal feeling good to me right now? Is there a part of my mind that's addicted onto this? Do I want to keep this story anymore? Do I want to change what this looks like to me? Why do I feel this way? Where did it come from? Is it working for me anymore? That's where you start the journey and going. Please know that you are chasing something. And it's not that person. It's not that outcome. It's an emotion. Find what that emotion is. Find what you've been doing to try to get that emotion. And see if it's working for you. If it's not, change it. Find new, healthier, more awakened and conscious ways to seek that emotion. But for the love of God, please stop. Please stop chasing people. What? Why? Because someone who's meant to see you will see you. Yes, you might have to work through things for that. You might have to look at your perspectives. You might have to expand your energy and realize you deserve it. You might have to see what you're attracted to and why, and that might even change. There's so many possibilities here. Yeah, it takes work. It's responsibility, it's discipline, it is spiritual and emotional and mental growth. The physical growth is going to happen regardless. But most people have stopped honestly, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally growing. Is it super pleasurable? No, it's hard. It's work. But let me ask you something. How are you going to ask somebody else to do the work, to do what it takes to be with you? Because most people are chasing people. They're not like, no, I don't care how you are. I'll be with you anyway. Some do. Most don't. Most are like, come be with me, but fix X, Y, Z about you. change this, this, and this about you. No, no, I want you to come back, but no, you can't be that way. They're actually probably in more alignment than you are, because at least they're doing what they want to do. They're not telling as much lies. Some are, some aren't. So you're not even chasing that which aligns with what you want from somebody anyways. You're like, no, I want you, but I don't want all this that comes with you. It's very narcissistic. Like, see this, people. See this. It is narcissistic. Even if you label yourself as the codependent, because they're pretty much the same thing. They just cope differently. It is very narcissistic to want somebody to come and be with you and say, I want you, but I want none of this that mostly right now represents who you are. Then why do you want them? Look at it. Why do you want them? If you need help with this, let me know. I'm not going to go all to little reasons and stuff like that as to why. I'm sorry if I sound really heated right now. Sometimes I get passionate when I talk. But look at why. If you're chasing somebody and you want them to change a lot of things about them, that they're not just where you want them to be right now. You're asking them to go through the work to change for you. But you're not even willing to change for you. You're not even willing to do that work. And I get some people have done the work. Some have done none. Some have done some. And then some have done enough just to try to get the union. If you've done a lot and you're where I'm speaking, just enjoy this video and it is what it is. If this triggers you, ask yourself why. If it doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't apply to you. But what part of that is okay to ask somebody else to change, to sacrifice what they want or their journey, and you're not willing to do the work or sacrifice anything for your journey, which you actually are sacrificing for your journey. You're sacrificing your respect and your self-love, and you're abandoning yourself. Which is probably why that person's abandoning you, just FYI, from a mirroring perspective. Why would they stay? Because the thing is, they're seeking empowering situations too. They're seeking balance too. They're seeking that which they're missing too. A lot of people wonder why, and this does go to extremes, so as far as the ones that are truly not great, like women or men, I'm not talking about those, but some people will be with a guy or chase them or be on and off for so long, right? And they'll be so faithful to that person and so loyal, and then one day they'll end up marrying a person. They'll be like, I don't want to get married, I don't want a commitment, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're married before they know it. It could be narcissistic, but a lot of times, it doesn't even matter. A lot of times they'll be like, why did they marry him or her? Like, they're so mean, or they're like the B word, or they're, you know, they demand stuff. They demand their respect. They demand what they want. And then you feel even more awful. Because you're like, for one, they didn't choose you. And for two, you sold yourself out. To get the prize. And they ended up with somebody who didn't. You did those things because you thought it was going to get you an outcome. Not even worthy of a prize. Nothing against the person, but nothing is worth you selling yourself out. And then they not only end up with somebody else who's like, they're not willing to do that, but they do more than what you were even asking of the person. That's hard. That's a hard lesson. And that's most of the time the way it goes. A lot of women go with the mindset of, they'll see one day, I'll be so loyal, I'll stay with them, I'll help them, they'll see. Maybe. I mean, you could still be loving and compassionate and supportive, but still have your boundaries. As long as you're able to, as long as it's healthy for you. And it's not that toxic. But I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that no man or most men don't, especially the ones that have the runner dynamic. I'm not talking about guys who are more like, you know, balanced and relationship oriented anyways. Mostly the guys that have the runner dynamic. They usually do not look at it like, you know what? I'm going to pick Susie over here because she has just always been there for me. Usually if they do, by the way, it's because they need something or they're at a point where their options are limited and they know they'll be able to get constant things from you. It's usually not a love relationship. It's an opportunistic and convenient relationship. It's practical, not love. So that's another thing you need to look at. Does that matter to you? Think about it. If it's fine, then go for it. Try. But if you're truly wanting that emotional thing, which is what most people are feeling, it's not going to be that. But most of the time, it doesn't even happen that way. And if it does, you kind of get the crap end of it. Not the fun part of it, not the loyal part of it, the part where they're like, okay, I need you now for X, Y, Z. And maybe they'll be faithful. Most people, though, don't choose you. Because most people that choose somebody, especially when they get to a point where they choose to commit, finally to a point where their physical aging and evolution, you know, some people take longer to mature, get ready for commitment than others, especially with guys. By the time they get to that, they're gonna choose a queen. A queen. Or an empress, however you want to look at that. That's who they're going to choose. The one who knows their worth. The one who maybe they're like, I don't want to live my life without this person. The one who can represent. And if they didn't, honestly, I wouldn't want to be with somebody who wouldn't want to be with a woman who knew how to represent. Or that they look for a weaker, more timid woman or whatever. I honestly want a man who is wanting and fully capable and respecting of a woman who stands up just as strong beside him because it makes a stronger union. That they get turned on by your respect and your power and your abilities in the same way you do them. That they uplift you in the same way you uplift them. And that's usually, unless it is a very kind of toxic relationship or narcissistic, that is the type of women guys choose when they get ready. Are the ones who have stuff going on, that they don't need somebody. That they are secure in who they are. That you have something to offer. If you're coming at somebody and chasing somebody because you have this void in you, what do they have? No. They don't want to be with, they're also usually, because you're attracting the vibration, like there's something to offer. What do you have to offer? And if it's just between your legs, they don't need to buy the cow to get the milk for free type thing. Nobody's gonna buy you just because of what's between your legs, for the most part. At least not the type of spiritual relationship you're probably looking for if you're watching my channel. So, You know? I mean, find out who you are. Like, get to a point where, like, you're at that level where it doesn't matter if somebody's there. It doesn't matter if somebody walks away. You're who you are and you're shining bright. And they can see you now. If they don't see you, they're not meant to see you. And you're holding yourself off from the person who is meant to see you. So, I don't know. I can understand at first needing a level of healing and wondering and let me give it a minute. Should I, move on or whatever? But a lot of people really just go so far with it and they're just like, oh, I don't know. And it's because you're not making a choice. Just make a choice. Honestly, that's where a lot of suffering comes from. And I realize this full-heartedly. I have hard time making a lot of decisions. I'm so like, Make a choice. And a lot of people don't want to because there's responsibility that comes with making choices. Which means if you decide to move on, a lot of people, I think, are more scared of the pain that comes along with that and the healing they're going to have to go through by choosing to move on than just dealing with the little bit of pain and the devil that they know by choosing not to. And if you didn't realize it, that's what you're doing. That's not spiritual ascension. That's codependency and that's fear. What you're feeling is triggers to try to get you through it. And you're resisting. Which is why so many people are so bothered and so depressed and so sometimes wanting to commit suicide. Which I want to do a video on. Some people finally gave up. And they stopped resisting and they moved on and they got a lot better because of it. If you holding on is making you stay stuck, or it's making you worse, and you're getting upset to the fact that you're in this journey and you didn't sign up for it, and you're mad at God, at your higher self, at this other person's higher self, please know that's you and that's your responsibility. If you need help, put black tourmaline under your pillow as well as polychrome jasper. That helps a lot with blocking things out. It's not perfect, but it helps. And polychrome jasper is really good also for journeying and astral projection and protection during that time, which is why I chose it, because I knew that I did it sometimes when I sleep, which I didn't mean to, but I knew I did when I woke up. So I knew I did work sometimes in the other realm when I sleep. And so I wanted protection during that, and I wanted psychic protection. And it helped a lot. It's also about your boundaries. You can absolutely set up boundaries, even to somebody of a twin flame, even to another part of yourself. Because guess what? Boundaries don't start with other people. Sometimes they do, but really, they end up and start with boundaries to yourself. That is spiritual discipline. That is taking responsibility, is having boundaries to yourself. So it doesn't matter whether you see this in yourself, in someone person, oh, they're part of me, or they're this. No. Boundaries. So don't get mad and give your power away and act in a victim mentality because you're not choosing to learn and set up your boundaries, your respect, your self-love, and walk your journey. If a lot of this is going on and it's sucking for you and you're unraveling and getting worse, it's because you're not seeing something and your perspective is off. And maybe it's just like, well, let's see how bad it gets for them until they see. No judgment. Let it go where you have to let it go until you see. But if you're like, what the heck, it's not getting better, maybe be open to what I'm saying right now. Because you absolutely have the ability to make it to where if you don't want somebody to enter into your thoughts, they won't. If you don't want them to come in and mess with you at night when you're sleeping or into your physical life, any realm, you absolutely have that ability. It's up to you whether or not you invoke it, whether you choose to take your power back. Will it be a little bit more uncomfortable because you do, because you're going to have to do some work and learn other things and you're going to realize your void even more? Yeah. But you can choose instant gratification. That gets worse. Or you can choose just ripping the Band-Aid off. And allow the work to make it where things get better. But you're working either way, whether you realize it or not. You're putting in work in one situation that is actually unraveling you, or you could put work into a situation that expands and grows you. You now, from here forward, anyone who is watching this video, are making a conscious decision. I'm giving you that gift of a conscious decision. You can't go back now. Unless you want to tell yourself some story that, oh, it doesn't apply to me, whatever. But you know, you'll know. It's about making a decision. Make a choice, commit to it, and create what you need to change it. That decision and that power in that decision is yours. Stop giving your power away. What reality do you want? If you want a different reality, create it. I don't care what level, what dimension, or anything like that. I don't care what label you put on it. I don't care what you're experiencing. I don't care about any of that. Everybody has sovereignty. Everybody has free will. And everybody has a choice. And sometimes spiritual journeys and spiritual relationships are meant to teach us things. I think that's all I'm going to say in this. I hope this really helps somebody. I have compassion, I really do. And I understand sometimes, especially if a breakup is fresh and all that, you need a little bit of healing time. All of those answers are solved by you just working your own journey. Because if that person is meant to see you, they'll see you. If they're meant to come your way, they'll come your way. A lack of abundance mind frame is one that feels like it has to chase things, or it'll never come to them. And it's usually those people that usually either have things never come to them, or they get limited things and they're just stuck in that just enough, but they can't break through the barrier to get where they really want to go. And it's because they're gripping on so tight. They won't let go. Let go. You've already chose to let go of yourself. It shouldn't be that much harder to choose to let go of someone or something else. Just choose to walk the other way and go find yourself. If you need help with this, on perspective changes, blocks, shadow work, inner child work, healing work, please let me know. I would love to help you. My information is in the description box below. My emails information and PayPal information, everything is in the description box below. Mostly I just wanted to give this message out because it was something that was really getting to me. And it's just time for so many people. And a lot of people are, you know, doing great and they're ascending and all that. And even the ones who aren't are doing great. I really just wanted to, like, maybe there's some way I can shift your perspective and I can open your eyes. Because sometimes we get stuck. And sometimes it takes other people or other situations to help us get unstuck. And hopefully this is one of them. If not, then Oh well, I did the video. But I love you guys. I'll be seeing and talking to you soon. Much love. And just keep walking on your journey. I love you. Bye.